Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Molly. I'm a naturalist with the Zionsville Nature Center, and today we are going to just step right into the world of owls. That's right, the mysterious bird of the night. We are going to talk a little bit about owls, why they're successful, and then talk about one in particular, which is one of my favorites, the great horned owl, and it's kind of one of North America's most powerful predators. So, how many of you guys have ever heard this song? How many of you guys have heard that? Could be at night, or honestly, it could be in a TV show or in a movie, any scary movie. There's always that call that plays, that classic hoo-hoo call. And it's more than just a night sound. It's more than just anything, really. It's actually the voice of one of the most adaptable, widespread owls in North America. But we'll touch on that in a minute. Because these owls aren't just incredible hunters, but they play a vital role in our ecosystems, that not just to our ecosystems, but also to us, each human being. They play a very important role. So let's start explaining, or exploring kind of owls in general. What makes them so unique and successful? We'll start off with a picture of an owl. Honestly, instantly recognizable, right? They have the forward-facing eyes, that round face. They make those calls that you hear all the time. And honestly, they've fascinated humans for centuries. So what makes it an owl besides those features, right? Well, owls are nocturnal. Most of them are nocturnal, which means that they're out during the nighttime. So when humans are asleep, they're out at night, and during the day, they sleep or rest as much as they can. So active at night, sleeping during the day, and very successful birds. And becoming so successful in hunting and surviving in the nighttime, you got to have some really great adaptations. Three key ones we'll talk about: eyes, hearing, and they even have silent flight, which we'll get to that. So let's start off eyes. Big old eyes with our owl right here. Their eyes are huge. They are used in they're an oval shape. They're an oval shape versus a round eyeball, you might think. So they're oval, and they kind of capture all of the light that they possibly can, kind of like a telescope might with the stars. So they grab all those lights in, and they're massive. These eyes are probably one of the largest eye to body head size ratio out of any animal. And a fun fact, if our eyes were that same ratio with our size, our body head size, our eyes would be the size of oranges. I don't know if you're gonna just when you have on a picture, your eyes as big as oranges. I mean, that's wild. So huge eyes. And what's so crazy is that their eyes are fixed. There's no room in their eyes for the muscles to move their eyes. So I always say, if you hold your head still, I have to hold my head sometimes. If you hold your head still, you can move your eyes and look all around, up and down, and move everywhere. And that's because of our muscles. We have muscles to move our eyes. But owls don't have that. Instead, they look straight forward, constantly straight forward. How many of you guys have heard that owls can rotate their head 360 degrees? I mean, I have. I heard that growing up my whole life. Well, that's not true, sadly. As cool fact that is, owls are vertebrates. They have vertebrae, which is our neck, our spine. And if they turn their head 360, it'd probably break their neck, right? So, not possible. But they have special spines, special vertebrae, that allow them to turn a lot. So they can actually turn their heads up to 270 degrees. Pretty close to 365. But they can turn them both ways. So if there's something over here, they can turn their head this way, or they can turn their head all the way around and look back at the spot on the other, going the other way. So it might appear that they have 360 head movement. But their eyes are so good. These guys can see practically in the dark. There's a thing that says an owl sits on one end of a goalpost on a football field, American football, and in a new moon, no stars, no lights whatsoever, if you put a candle, one lit candle in the middle of the football field, and there's a mouse on the far other end zone, that owl will see that mouse and will be able to hunt it. So think pitch black with one little candle on a whole football field, and they can see it. Pretty amazing birds. Now, eyesight, we got that covered. Hearing. Now, this is the point where I always ask the whole audience, where do you think the owl's ears are? Now, you'll hear people go, up here. This guy doesn't have it, but some birds have feathers. They'll say up here, some say on the side. Really, it's kind of in the face. It's in weird spots along the face. This owl is a barred owl. We have them all over Indiana, North America, mostly on the eastern side. But they have this perfect example of the facial disc. If I'm bringing closer. Yeah. They have this facial disc, and that is like a funnel for sound. So when there is sounds coming towards the owl, these funnels bring it right to their ears. They also have asymmetric ears, which means that they are crooked and not straight, not symmetric. And that is kind of to triangulate. So if there's a triangle, it helps pinpoint exactly where the sound's at. So excellent hearing, excellent hearing. Now, my favorite thing, silent flight. So I want you guys to picture a mouse, right? Owls love eating mice, and mice are out at night, so we're going with the mouse. Picture a mouse. They're often nocturnal, and to survive, you have to have really good hearing, right? At night, our owls have really good hearing, our mice have good hearing. Can you picture those big round ears that the mouse has? So you're also surprised to be able to hunt a mouse. You have to be very, very, very quiet, right? So owls actually have silent flight. I have this little, I'll put this down. I have this little cool, I'm sorry it's backwards, but this really cool pictures of our different feathers. So on this side, this is our barn owl. These are barn owl feathers that someone took a photo of. And as you see, it's really jagged, really cut up on different parts of the feather. Now, if you look at our pigeon feather, it's really flat. Straight, cut, flat. Looks like someone took a scissors and just made a straight line on their feathers. This is the difference between flying very noisily and flying silently. Owls are so quiet at flight that sometimes scientists will actually need really special microphones to be able to hear anything at all, which is crazy. But having that silent flight lets them sneak up and scoop up a mouse, and the mouse, no clue what's happening. So, silent flight. So, if you put all these traits together, our amazing eyesight, our amazing hearing, and the ability to be like extra silent, kind of like a ninja, be extra quiet. You can see how owls are designed to be the perfect nighttime hunters. So let's go back now. We learned a little bit about owls, kind of got them figured out. Let's go back to what we were just talking about, or what we heard earlier, right? This. Do you remember that? Do you remember that call from earlier? Some of you guys may know what owl that is, and I've actually mentioned that owl before. So let's meet one of our best known, toughest of them all. Great horned owl. Make sure he's in the picture. There we go. Great horned owl. This is the largest owl that we have in North America. It's also one of the strongest, the toughest. And we'll kind of break him down on different cool things about this owl, because fascinating bird. So first, you guys heard the call. They make that hoot sound. They're known as a typical hoot owl because their calls are pretty standard, stereotypic for owls. They have these large horns, hence the name great horned owls. His are down, but they have these long, huge horns. These are actually feathers. They're feather tufts called plumicorns. They are a way to camouflage, which we'll get to in a second. They have bright yellow eyes, which, if you might notice, our barred owl doesn't. So it's actually a clue. Our barred owl likes to be out at dawn and dusk versus our great horn, which is out at night. And the eye color kind of helps you recognize that. But anyway, bright yellow eyes, and they have these ear tufts, and then they have this really cool banded camouflaged color of them. People call them like tigers sometimes. And it's, like I said, to camouflage. Now you're probably thinking, okay, it's nocturnal, it's dark outside, why do they need to camouflage? It's actually during the day. So remember that I said they try to sleep at night, or just try to sleep during the day? Not at night, so they try to sleep during the day. Well, there's a lot of birds and a lot of other animals who do not want this guy sleeping in their area. And especially you might see like blue jays and crows, they do this thing called mobbing, where they basically push and they attack and they yell at one of our owls or predators. Sometimes they do it to hawks, something like that, but they want them to leave. So this poor guy, who's been up all night long, just wants to sleep, and he can't because he's getting pestered. So his camouflage helps him blend in. Kind of show you the back. Helps him blend in. He actually honestly looks like a tree, I think, and helps him be able to sleep, honestly. Now, his ear tufts, kind of two camouflages here. So first up, ear tufts are going to help him blend into a tree, because if he is flat and circular, like so, our barred owl might have a little bit harder time. It's pretty obvious it's an owl. I think most animals will get if his ear tufts are down. It's a round silhouette of an owl. But if he has these little plumicorns up, he looks maybe like a little broken tree branch. Helps kind of camouflage. Actually helps a lot at night too, especially in winter when it's dark and there's no trees and he's sitting in a tree. A mouse, anything's gonna look at him and see the round silhouette and be like, that's an owl, come on. But if he's looking like this, they might think, oh, maybe that's just a dead branch. I don't know. I think I'm safe. I'm gonna come out in the open right now. So that helps him camouflage both at night too, that silhouette. Range, like I said, this guy's the most common owl, probably best known. They can be found anywhere from Canada to South America, and they're really, really adaptable to their environment. So you'll see them in neighborhoods, in deep forest, on the edges of farm fields, really anywhere, the desert. I mean, they're maybe not high, tall, snowy mountains, but you know, they're adaptable. They can be found pretty much everywhere. Hunting diet, so this is like my favorite things about them. First up, just look at these claws. I mean, come on, look at that. So all of our owls are carnivores, which means they eat meat. They attack carnivores, predators, they eat things that are alive. They use these talons to grab, to rip apart with their beak here, kind of like a fork and a knife. They hold it and rip it apart in pieces. Sometimes they will swallow things whole. They can do that too. But these talons here are the most dangerous weapon on this bird. If you want you guys to make a fist with your hand and squeeze super, super, super tight, like keep squeezing as tight as you can. Just clench your fist. On our good day, on a very healthy, human, strong, top fitness Humans can do maybe 100 pounds per square inch of force by doing that. This guy, with his talons, he can do almost up to 500 pounds per square inch of strength. So that means this bird right here is 5 times stronger grip strength than us. Yeah, very, very, very strong. Their wings, also really strong. So this bird can, this bird can actually catch something and fly up with something that is 3 times his body weight, 3 times. So you're probably asking, okay, what does that mean? How much does this guy weigh? Well, if you know anything about birds are pretty lightweight. Hollow bones, feathers, they don't weigh much. So this guy can weigh maybe 5 pounds on a good day. He's big, so maybe 5 pounds. So go back 3 times, 15 pounds. This bird can carry off something that's 15 pounds. Wild. Some of their favorite foods are obviously like rabbits, squirrels. They might eat other owls, like screech owls, smaller owls. They can carry off a Canada goose, although I think they should probably eat more of those, me personally. But yeah, Canada geese, ducks. And one of the most surprising things, one of their favorite foods are skunks. Because you know something else? Cool fun fact. They don't really have a good sense of smell. So they don't really care if the skunk sprays them or anything. They can't smell it. So there you go. Got some cool food for them. Now we talked a little bit about how they're great at like adapting and kind of aren't picky with where they're at. And that's the same how it goes with nesting. So these guys don't build nests. They actually take over hawks and crow and even bald eagle nest. And they are great parents. They defend their nests, they defend the eggs, their babies. They are tough, strong, great, protective parents. And you're probably thinking, okay, well, how do they still get a bald eagle? How do they take their nest? They actually nest really early. They nest as early as December, and they are strong, really strong. So many birds, including bald eagles, just don't want to risk it. They don't want to fight them for a nest, which is pretty cool. So if all these birds are around us, what does that mean for us? How does our choices, why does this affect us? What do things we do affect them if they're so great? And we'll kind of get into that. So I'm going to put him aside, so I'm not just holding him. And put this guy back up, though. So a big one, honestly, for humans is there is such a cultural connection between humans and owls. All the way from Greek and Roman times with Athena and her owl, and up to Halloween and scary movies and that hoot call. And but you might also just love little owls. They're so cute, and statues, and maybe you have a story in your life of a time you experienced an owl. There is such a strong connection of humans and owls, I think. So that's something that's really important, I think, just in general for humans and our connection with them. They also, and probably the more important one, they are really great at keeping rodent and other animal populations in check. Their populations for rodents and stuff without owls, they would grow exponentially. And the diseases and the damage that some of these animals cause would just explode. But owls help keep their populations down and balanced and in check. So honestly, really important to have owls around to help kind of keep that better for us humans. Owls have a lot of threats. Habitat loss is a huge one. A great horned owl might not be picky, but a lot of other owls are, and they need deep forests, trees. They need holes in trees where they can nest, special food, things like that. They need really important meals, important habitat, and everything like that. We see a lot of problems with out competing for other birds than owls. So if you're familiar, the barred owl is actually kind of taking over out west because they aren't very picky and they're a little more aggressive, and so they're out competing some owls out west. We also see, like I said, habitat loss. Owls actually get hit by cars a lot. So when you throw food outside your window of your car, it brings rodents to the road. And then owls are also then coming to the road to hunt. So we see actually a lot of bird strikes and owls with cars, which is really sad. Another issue that's really popping up right now is like rat poison and roticide, which is hard. We think you might not realize the cause and effect of putting out like rat poison or mouse poison, but what happens is the mice eat the poison, they start kind of feeling sick, they start acting a little strange, they go out in an open field, and they're kind of just like, oh, not feeling great. Well, the owl sees that, the hawk sees that, the bald eagle sees that, and they're like, oh, an easy meal. And the more and more they eat, that bioaccumulation builds up that poison, and it can also then kill the owl, the hawk, the bald eagle, things like that. Honestly, classic snap trap for a mouse or rodent is the way to go versus like poisons. So yeah, avoid poisons, support native habitat. Please, please, please plant trees. Don't take down a bunch of trees unless needed. Don't even spray for insects. Keep the populations and the ecosystem and the whole food web in check to help these birds. Dimming outdoor lights, another great one. Again, these guys don't need light to see, and if there's too much light, they are not going to do really well. Owls can live up to 30 years in the wild, but a lot of problems with humans and our run-ins are cutting their life short. So please keep all that kind of stuff in line to help them. Now we've seen their importance, their challenges. Let's kind of circle back. This makes them so unforgettable, and that's the traits, how adapted they are, because they're not just incredible hunters. They play that vital role in their ecosystem and also to all of us with their amazing vision, their amazing hearing, that silent flight, the cool, unique colors of them, the shape of them, that classic call that we hear in probably every single movie, everything. Yep, that call. Owls are vital to all of us. So next time you hear that call at night or in a movie, it's not just a sound. It's that call of one of nature's greatest survivors, greatest predators. And by protecting our owls and protecting and doing our part, we're kind of protecting that balance of everything in our ecosystem. I want to thank you guys so much for being here, listening to me talk about amazing owls. Again, my name is Molly. I'm at the Zionsville Nature Center. Please come back anytime. Reach out. Let me know if you have any questions about our owls or about anything else. Thank you so much.